Okay, so this is my video of the property that's going up at the back of our houses. This is the property that's going to be built on Westbrook Road, and as you can see from here, this is what we will see from the back of our houses. This property is being built literally on the back fence of my neighbour's property, across 3 or 4 properties. Despite our attempts to stop it happening, the council went ahead and allowed this to happen. So I thought I would take a video just so that we could find out from the council and the council planning committee what the hell possessed them to think this was a good idea. If you can look at the windows on the back of this property, they are on my neighbour's garden, literally on the back fence, and these windows will look straight in to their garden and their property. This is what Croydon's planning department feels is a good idea. From where I live now, let's see if I can come back here, I don't see as much until they put the roof on. Basically, you can see just between the trees there, which my neighbour may be cutting down, all I see at the moment from the ground floor level is the top of the building prior to the roof. You can see how high the scaffolding is. That's what they're putting at the back of my property. Well, not my property, my neighbour's property, and they think this is okay. Now, apart from dumping scaffolding on other people's property without asking permission, they've gone ahead, and I'll go out the back of my garden just so that you could see. Alright, Governor, this is what we're going to be looking at. And as you can see, one of the reasons why we protested this property was because it's literally on the edge of the pavement. If you can see the fence, right there on the left, the brown fence, which is not actually part of their property. Can you see that window? That window is on the face of the property looking right across into other people's houses, and you can see from the houses on the other side that the windows are far smaller. Now, we spoke to the council about the fact that it was a 2-storey building, and what they decided to do was allow a 2-storey building to be built next to a bungalow. And as you can see, next door we have a bungalow. That's where the 2-storey houses end on Westbrook Road. And if you look around, pan around, there's a bungalow. Here we have this 2-storey house, which is literally on the edge of the pavement. One of the things we didn't think was allowed. They've been given permission to put this property right on the edge of the pavement by Croydon Council, Croydon's Planning Committee. And if you look across the road, this is what the people across the road are going to see now. If you pan across, you can see the distance of the houses across the road, and you can also see that all the houses sit back from the pavement. They all have front gardens, and they sit 12 to 15 feet back approximately. This property sits right on the edge of the pavement, so it basically sits 12 to 15 feet forward of every other property. As a result, this is what you see when you go down the end of the road. This is what you see. You have all of the properties that are back here, and they all sit back from the edge of the pavement. This one here sits right on the edge of the pavement, and that's what you can see. Still has a roof to go on. So yeah, I'd really like to know why Croydon's Planning Committee or Croydon Council, whoever's responsible for thinking this was a good idea. That house is going to be as tall as these houses, and it's going to sit right there. Despite numerous protests, this is what Croydon Council thinks is a fantastic idea. just for a little extra, what, £1,000 in council tax every year, you've felt it's okay to make a complete and utter mess of the surroundings by stuffing this monstrosity, allowing this monstrosity to be built. This is one of my neighbour's properties, and as you can see from my neighbour's property, all of their scaffolding and everything is on my neighbour's property. The fence is my neighbour's property, all of in there's my neighbour's property. They've not asked permission, they've just done what the hell they want. The reason they've done what the hell they want is because you've basically, Croydon Council, given them leave to do so. Yep, as you can see from around here, this, so you can't even see it. It's so big, and it's literally on the main road, literally sitting on the main road. What a joke. Yeah, so what you find here, and a lot of people have asked me, what is this monstrosity going up at the back of your property? And I say to them, well, there's not a lot we can do, because we fought the council and they totally ignored us, had total disregard for our complaints. You can see your building still sticking out. Croydon Planning Committee, whoever you are, look at the size of the windows at the back of this property. Now if you look at the size of the windows at the back of this property and you compare them to the windows at the back of our properties, you can see the difference. How on earth is it acceptable to put windows like that on a 2-storey house on the back fence of another person's property? Those windows are 2 to 3 times the size of the windows on the properties around here, and don't even recall them being part of the original plans, but somehow this is what you have allowed to happen, and we'd really like to know why. What I'm going to do is just give you another view of this monstrous building that sits in the middle of nowhere. Doesn't sit beside anything, isn't supported by anything else. It just stands in the middle of nowhere on its own. And this is what we're going to see now when we come down Westbrook Road. This is what Croydon's Planning Committee thinks is acceptable. And I mean, really the question I'd like to ask you is this.
That looks lovely, doesn't it?
It's a monstrosity, isn't it?
Yes.
There you go. That's what I'm telling Croydon Council, mate. Unbelievable that they would think that that would be acceptable.
I know, but they've let so much go on in your road.
We fought it for 3 years.
Yeah, my friend Brenda on number 1 Westbrook.
Yeah.
She's been fighting it for a long time.
Yeah. And it's a nightmare.
They're just building everywhere now.
They've put that. I mean, if you look at the windows at the back of that property, the size right on my neighbour's fences, looking straight into their house.
Yeah.
How is that acceptable? Yeah. How is it acceptable to put a 2-storey house next to a bungalow? I don't get it. There you go.
The council don't mind, do they?
They don't care.
They're doing the same behind us. We're in Spa Hill.
Okay.
Lawns,
Oh, okay.
and there's someone's bought the car park from the council somewhere.
Oh, okay. And they're going to what? Put 20 flats or something?
Yeah, flats
Houses,
in
I think.
there.
But
Poor
still,
house.
say,
Absolute
no one
nightmare.
on us, but
Yeah. Absolute nightmare.
it's a nightmare trying to do
I'm going to send them a message though, because I want to find out who's responsible for that. We fought them and they totally ignored us. But between their planning committee and the councillors in this area, they need to find another job, because it's unbelievable what they're allowing to
They
happen.
let go on up there in the...
Yeah. My neighbour, my friend of mine is the house on the corner. He hasn't got the strength to fight with them anymore.
Rory.
Yeah.
No, he died, didn't he, Rory?
No. It's
Jane and...
Leroy.
Oh, look what.
Just on the corner, literally the house on the corner there. Because I know I looked at the pit at the back there. You know, they were asking to use his water, asking to go in his garden.
Since they've done that, they all get flooded.
Yeah, it's all
The
flooded now.
gardens.
Wow.
They've altered the course of the Westbrook Brook, the water brook.
Wow.
They must have done, because my friend's got the garage, a double garage up there.
Yeah.
And that's all wet, never was until they
Wow.
done that.
Yeah.
But they've had the council down, the council are useless.
Yeah, they are. The only thing they're good at doing is not doing their job.
They're taking your council tax.
There you
money.
go.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. For an extra £1,500 a year, they will allow that to happen.
Yeah.
They mess with your light. People are going to start looking in the back of your property. For what? It's crazy. Absolutely. And it doesn't actually connect with anything.
No, it's all out
It's
of
just-
shape, isn't it? It does not in character at
And
all.
I said to them, one of my complaints was it literally sits on the pavement,
Yeah.
so it sticks out.
The front
does,
door will be on
doesn't
the
it?
pavement. Yeah.
It's literally on the pavement. If you look, all the houses are like 12 to 15 foot back, except for this one,
Yeah.
which I think is a
But then
fantastic.
they put that monstrosity of flats
Up at Spa Hill, yeah.
They've allowed that,
We got to
and
find a way to
it's
get rid of these people because they're a nuisance.
I said one time you said it had to be in keeping with the neighbourhood, and that certainly is not.
Well, apparently they believe that one is. I was reading up, and it's like people complained, and here's the funny thing: it was actually meant to be taller, and the councillor okayed it being taller, and the company that was building it decided not to go any higher than it is. It could have had another 2 floors on it, probably.
There's 5 stories as it is. isn't
It's
there?
crazy. Can you think about another 2 stories on that thing?
They've got a lovely view over there.
It's crazy,
They
yeah.
had, where
And
the people in the house had the view,
yeah,
like you say here, now.
I mean, this, they're just blocking the light out in the mornings,
Where
and
they had the pavement covered all the time, you can't walk by.
well, here,
Yeah.
yeah, because they're leaving everything out on the road, aren't they?
Yeah.
So,
Good luck.
thanks.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I just put it online, and I'll ask them to explain why they think it's a great idea, and maybe they'll get back to us.
They might do.
I know,
You never know. I know. I understand. All right. You take care. Yeah. Bye. Yeah. All right. Croydon Council. That's 3 people who've passed me who've talked about the monstrosity that you guys allowed. So, here we go. This is what people are going to see when they hit the corner now. Yeah. From Halbury Road looking onto Westbrook Road. That's what they're going to see. Yeah, because you guys just don't care about people, and you think this is acceptable. Look at the size of the windows, huh? At the back of that property, look at the size of the windows. Those windows are looking directly into other people's properties, and you okayed it. So there you go. I mean, if you could just get back to me and just explain to me, really, curious question that I have is this: would you have allowed it if you lived in a bungalow next door? Would you have allowed it if there were would you allow a 2-storey house to be built next to your bungalow? Lee, you alright, mate? Yeah. I'm going to send a little message to Croydon Council, mate.
All right.
Do you see, I saw these people across the road there, and they're telling me, look at it, look. They're just looking at it like, what the heck kind of a monstrosity are you building? Have you seen this? Look at the size of the windows at the back. Those are going to look straight into other people's property. They're not what was on the plans. Okay? And Croydon Council needs to answer, mate. So I thought I'd just do a video and post it online. As you can see, Croydon, look at the size of our windows. Look at the size of those, right on our back fence. We'll see what you do, eh?